Hey guys, welcome back. What is up? This is HD and welcome to another exhibition matchup here. Today it's going to be a special one because I'll be bringing you guys a 2 versus 2, which is something I don't always do. As you guys all know, I specialize in broadcasting 1 versus 1 matchups, and that's typically what the core of Starcraft 2 is. Blizzard has always said, you know, Starcraft 2 is about 1 versus 1. Starcraft has always been about 1 versus 1, but a lot of people forget there's still team play involved if you ever want to get into that. And today I'll be bringing you guys a team-based game, but it's not just any team-based game. It's not like a bunch of random pubs playing against each other, nothing like that, because we actually have two of Europe's finest. We have Empire on the left-hand side of the map. Empire Aristio here is going to be representing Empire from the Zerg perspective, and from the Terran Confederacy we do have Empire Kos, who I've actually casted a couple of games up before. Very solid Terran player. So it will be a Terran versus Zerg, a Terran and Zerg, excuse me, versus a Protoss and Terran. And what better European team to pit against than Mouseports? We've got Mouseports Mana here as the green Protoss at the top, and just below him, just south of him, we've got Mouse Thorzane. So it's Mana and Thorzane against Aristio and Kos, and I think this is going to be a very, very solid 2v2. Obviously, both these, or all four of these guys, are prolific. They're profound 1v1 players. But when you pit these guys in a 2v2 atmosphere, a lot of things start to change. You have to be able to work as a team, and you've got to be able to deal with the kind of cheesy elements that kind of come with 2v2, because it's so easy to just kind of you know, rush and gangbang somebody and kill them right away. So one thing that's really nice about StarCraft 2 and 2v2, though, unlike in StarCraft 1, is that you could wall off, or you can wall off, if you share a similar base, and that's what we kind of see here. Thorzane helping out his teammate, opening up with 2 racks and a supply depot, and so thereby walling off the front door for his teammate, but at the same time also allowing himself to get a lot of early troop production. So I really like what Thorzane has done here, and that's certainly helping out his teammate. Going back to what I said before, you got to be able to assist your teammate in these 2v2 situations, but also got to be able to handle the pressure situations yourself. And if you had to ask me, I would say that Thorzane and Mana definitely have the edge if it was a 1 versus 1, but since it's a 2 versus 2, I actually don't know how good Aristio is, and I don't know how good he works with Empire Kos. So I don't know if Kos and Aristio have a better 2v2, you know, teamwork skills than their opponents do. So we'll just have to see if they have better chemistry or not, and we'll find out whether or not they do. Empire Kos right now building a bunker to assist his teammate, not taking the same route that Thorzane did in producing the double barracks play at the front with the supply depot. So he will actually have less production because of that, but he is going to go right into heavy gas here, and he's going to go right into mech. So it looks like he's either going to go, well, either he's going to stick with mech or he's going to go right into starport. And since he's getting the second gas down, I'm pretty sure he's going to go right into a starport play with the Banshees, as he's got a tech lab already on that factory. So let's see, will he build a starport or not? This is a crucial building here at this point in the game, only 5 minutes in to get that starport coming down. And let's see, he's got enough to build it, and no starport quite yet. And no, he's not. He's actually going to make a siege tank out of the factory. Interesting. And Aristio here not expanding, going right into lair. Wow, this is such an interesting build from both these guys. So this is exactly what I was saying before. It comes down a lot to practice, build orders, and chemistry, and it certainly seems like Team Empire here knows what they're doing. They're going for a very, very unorthodox style. You know, 1 base factory play, 1 base lair. We'll just have to see how this plays out. Thorzane sticking more with the more standard route after the 2 barracks play, going into a command center. Meanwhile, his teammate Mana going for 3-gate robo. Yes, that is 3-gate robo. So you know, 3-gate robo, pretty aggressive 1-base build into an expansion, hopefully. So both these guys from Mousesports really sticking to their guns when it comes to 1v1 base playstyle, but, you know, securing and making sure they don't get run over by some early game build by opening up with this very nice wall. So I really like what Mousesports is doing here, but are they prepared for what Team Empire's got coming for them? And right now, Empire Aristio's going for an infestation pit. This is really interesting. Kos has not even expanded yet. So you know what, guys? At this point, I think what Kos is doing is just going to go for some kind of Well, I was going to say some kind of a one base all in, but he's still only got one barracks and one factory, and there we go. Finally, another command center coming up. Aristio is expanding. I don't know. This is such a weird play style to finally go for an expansion. So I'm really, really curious where this is going to go. Keep in mind, Aristio does have very, very fast infestors here with fungal growth on the way. So that could be a game changer. Of course, Team Empire is going to have to make use of those quick infestors before Mousesports can really ramp up their production off of 2 bases apiece. And that's what Thorzane and Mana are both doing right now as those SCVs start to populate that command center. And Nexus is on the way down as well. Thorzane leapfrogging a bunker further out into the middle of the map, just providing him more of a fortress to fall back to in the middle if he needs to. And I do agree with that decision. Meanwhile, Mana adding on a very quick support bay here. I'm so excited. I love casting 2v2 guys, and I don't think we see enough 2v2s, especially of high caliber, high level. And when you've got Europe's finest playing in a 2v2, man, you can bet your butt I'll be casting this game. And here we go. Very intriguing composition from Team Empire, infestors, tanks, and marines. And I just don't know. Why didn't the Zerg just stick with more common mutas or Zerglings rather than infestors? We'll just have to wait and see if these infestors will pay off or not. Of course, if Thorzane and Mana clump up, a couple of fungal growths could really turn the tide of the battle here for Team Empire. And Empire is sieging up. They are out of range of the bunker. They are beginning to shell that bunker away. Thorzane was not sieged up. Thorzane, in fact, doesn't even have siege mode yet. He just finished it right now, but he lost the bunker. And a huge territorial win for Team Empire here, as they've got the ability to maybe make a strike against the Nexus and sending the Zerglings in, and a fungal growth goes down on the Marines. That's why the fungal growth was researched so quickly, and that paid off huge dividends. All the Marines going down. Team Empire going to work here, leapfrogging their tanks closer and closer. Thorzane just does not have as many tanks as his opponent does, and that's a problem. They will have a very hard time breaking the tanks because there's 4 tanks to 1 tank. That Colossus could make the difference here, but extended thermal lance is not done yet. So Mana will not be able to outrange the siege tanks until Thermal Lance finishes, and it doesn't help that Team Mousesports just lost another siege tank, so that is terrible for Mousesports. Meanwhile, Thorzane is sending in a barracks here to check out what's going on. Koss is in full-on production mode, so is Aristio, who is now going into roaches, interestingly enough, so they're just going to settle down on their contain here, not really push forward and be uber aggressive, and they're going to macro into a better position. So I really, really love what Empire is doing here. And you know what? Mana and Thorzane are going to have to put their heads together if they're going to win this battle. This is not a 1 versus 1. This is a 2 versus 2, and it will require teamwork to maneuver themselves out of this ditch that they've dug themselves in. And if they lose this Nexus here, that could just be game. I don't know how Mousesports is going to win if this Nexus goes down, and there's nothing Mana can do about it. The Nexus is under 400 HP. It's continuing to take damage. Thermal Lances seems to be finished now, but Mana does not want to risk losing a Colossus, so he is going to sacrifice the Nexus to keep his army alive. But that was such a huge loss for Mousesports now, and really, the only way Mousesports can win at this point is a crushing victory right here at the focal point. They're going to have to close in and crush from the left and the right with teamwork if they're going to get back in this game, and they're going to have to solidly and convincingly win out against the Terran and the Zerg. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it against Empire or not. Empire's continuing to funnel in units, troops, and everything they can really bring in. Even SCVs seem to be making their way out there to help repair and fortify this area. And no, I love it. Empire is going to pull back. They know they're in a risky spot. Eventually, Mousesports would have pushed in and attacked. So what does Empire do? They know they've already secured a huge advantage by killing off the Nexus, and they fall back to the Zelnanga Tower. That's just brilliance. That's just really, really good teamwork. And Thorzane still scouting out with the barracks, still trying to figure out what exactly is going on. Supply surprisingly pretty close. In fact, believe it or not, Mana actually has the highest supply out of anybody in the game, even though he lost that Nexus. So the game isn't over yet, but the longer this game goes on, I can't help but feel the further behind Mousesports falls. Yes, Mana is getting a new Nexus, but it hurts nevertheless to lose it. And what is this? Thorzane actually trying to sneak a couple of ninja command centers, trying to utilize the ability of Terran buildings to float in the air and fly away, and ninja hop his way over to the bottom right-hand corner expansions, despite the fact that he is cornered in and contained along with Mana. So I really like that. That's very smart. you know, make up for the fact that he lost a base by sneaking in an extra base, but the Zergling scouts it out. Aristio scouts out that Nexus, and now Mana and Thorzine going in, leading in with an Immortal First to absorb the Siege Tank fire, and now Mana and Thorzine are going to work. They are in a terrible concave position. They are actually being convexed by the enemy concave, but I think Mana's just got too many Colossus. Yes, he does, and this is what I'm talking about. If Mouseports wins, they have to win decisively if they want to stay in this game, and that was a decisive victory with the 4 Colossi and the tanks still alive. Now Aristio trying to come in and feign the Overlord bomb, but there's nothing inside these Overlords, and I think Aristio might want to pull his Overlords out of there, otherwise he is going to get supply block. Huge loss right here for Team Empire, and Mouseports taking a huge, massive victory in the middle of the map. Not only does that allow these SCVs to go ahead and populate the bottom right-hand corner expansion, but it also allows Mouseports to launch attacks wherever they please into the heart of the Zerg and Terran. It looks like those Roaches just ran up and combined with a Fungal picked off 1 or 2 Colossus right there. That was a cute play from Aristio, but picking up 2 Colossus, while it does help, it is not going to allow them to win unless they can kill off the rest of the tanks and Colossus. Man, tanks and Colossus combined are such a force to be reckoned with. You thought tanks are OP, you thought Colossus are OP. Try dealing with both at the same time. Har, Raffle Mao. And I don't know how Empire is going to win the game at this point. They are just basically been counter sieged, and now Mouseport's gonna go ahead and pull back. Unbelievable. Usually 2v2s end by this point in the game, but it has not ended yet. Aristio actually sneaks in a couple of Roaches over to the right-hand side where that Ninja expansion is. He has found an opening, and in fact, a lot of meals here that could go down, but the meals are already going to expire. And Thorzine not bringing anything to deal with that, neither is his teammate Mana. Meanwhile, Empire Cost trying to sneak in an orbital command of his own over to the top left-hand side. So very interesting game here. Neither player, or neither team I should say, trying to overcommit, which is smart. You never want to overcommit. You want to sit back and macro an advantage in most cases, and this is certainly a case where that theory applies. But because of that, in a 2v2, which is very rare, we're seeing a macro-based 2v2 between 2 top teams here, and I could not be more excited. I have no idea how this game is going to go down. Supplies, you know, for both teams seem fairly even. Thorzine leading the supply charge overall, but you know, overall things look very even right now. Mineral counts for both teams very good as well. Of course, map control definitely going over to Thorzine and Mana here, and it looks like the Roaches over on the bottom were dealt with by a solo tank, a captain tank if you will, that was sent in, and it got 15 kills total, so that SCV threat was finally dealt with. And wow, a ton of meals coming down to populate that new expansion. Well done right there. There is a Nidus network being constructed somewhere, and oh wow, a hatchery. This hatchery actually went down. I did not know that. So there is a Nidus network coming down inside the main, and a new hatchery being built for Aristio, who is definitely losing a lot of mining time right now, as he's actually got the 3rd under attack by a couple of Hellions as well. Not good at all. Empire Cost just trying to keep his tanks sieged up as well as he possibly can, but the line from Thorzine is so much better. Look at that vertical line just intersecting the map, whereas Empire Cost has just got a measly few tanks trying to push his way up. He does have Viking support though, and that is allowing his tanks to get +1 range, and that is quite helpful. I did just hear a Nidus Swarm. Aristio comes in with the Nidus Swarm for Team Empire, and will these Roaches be able to change the balance of the game or not? Because certainly Mousesports is winning this game right now. It looks like the entire Protoss army is being pulled back to deal with these Roaches, but that is a problem. Thorzine is being left all alone inside the middle of the map. This is Team Empire's chance to strike if they want to. Mousesports is separated right now. It looks like the Nidus Swarm has gone down, but the Nexus is going to fall as well. The Twilight Council, I guess, will maybe go down. If that Twilight Council goes down, that's a huge loss as well for Mouseports, and yes, it will go down. So not only the Nexus, but also a Twilight Council biting the dust. Meanwhile, Empire Cost dropping into the Ninja expansion. Team Empire is pulling back in this game. This is unbelievable. This is unreal, and they're actually pulling back in this game. Meantime, another Nidus Swarm coming up behind the new Protoss 3rd Nexus, and wow, that orbital command just blew up into a billion bits of debris. And Empire Cost looks like he's going to try to pull out with those medevacs intact, but I don't think it's going to happen with those Vikings in the air, unless those Marines drop down. Very nice play right there by Empire Cost. Meanwhile, in the back of the Protoss 3rd, Roaches have arrived, and Aristio is using mobility to the maximum, even being backed up by another medevac as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to kill the Nexus in time, though, because the entire army of Mana is there ready and waiting. Meanwhile, Thorzane trying to assist his teammate earlier, but got blockaded in by the wall. That's kind of funny. And wow, these Marines getting very cost-effective. They're still alive and fighting, even dropping Marines off, trying to bait friendly fire from the tanks. So nice back and forth action by both these teams. And, you know, Team Empire has been doing a pretty good job of just harassing and backstabbing wherever possible into the hearts of Mouseports and, you know, into the hearts of Thorzane and Mana. Really, really good job so far by both these guys. The thing here is, though, I feel like Aristio did sacrifice a lot of roaches to attack into that Nexus and Twilight Council, and still, I don't know if Team Empire has got enough to deal with this composition. Tanks and Colossus combined, you could not ask for a more OP, powerful team, you know, composition than that. That is one of the most fearful things. I mean, you thought tanks or Colossus or OP, try putting them together in one bull and then dealing with that. So, you know, Mousesports is looking still very, very good here. They are going to be able to catch a couple of medevacs off from Empire cost, and unfortunately, Blink is researched, and that means that those two medevacs are going to go down. Meanwhile, another Knight is coming out here. Not quite sure where. There it is. So Aristio actually trying to Nidus to support his teammate's new orbital command. Unfortunately for him, there are some Vikings there, but it doesn't look like Thorzane is paying attention because he's actually got roaches inside his main. Aristio has Nidus inside his main as well. So Aristio now inside the main and has picked off a couple of tech labs. Not bad at all, doing a little bit of damage here or there, putting one of the factories on fire, in fact, but still just delaying Thorzane a little bit. Meanwhile, Aristio also attacking with Zerglings into Thorzane's ninja expansion. Brilliantly done by Aristio. He has halted Thorzane significantly by doing all of that. But unfortunately, Empire Coss's command center did go down to the Vikings and Hellions. So, you know, one command center for another. That's the name of the game today. And still, that tank Colossus count is just getting quite menacing. Granted, Coss's tank army is looking pretty large as well. Let's see how Aristio's doing. Oh god, it doesn't look like he's just got enough army. He's actually trying to tech up into Broodlords right now to support his teammate, and certainly Broodlords here would be such a huge unit to have. It would be so beneficial for the Broodlord to be here right now, but it's still going to take some time for that Greater Spire to finish. I think it would take another minute or two until we could possibly see some Broodlords on the map, and I'm not sure if Thorzane or Mana are going to wait another minute or two. It doesn't look like it. He's unsieged everything. Always a good sign of a Terran player about to mount a massive attack, and there's no more backstabbing going on right now. Would be a great time for Aristio to backstab to distract the opponents, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a massive war fest here between these two teams. It's a battle here between the two teams, and it looks like Thorzane and Mana are gonna come out massively on top with all their tanks mostly alive here, and still one Colossus remaining. So really, it's just going to come down to the raw tank count of Thorzane and Aristio and Empire Cost. Go ahead and just leave this game. They don't want to deal with it anymore. But that was great 2v2, so back and forth, and for a moment, you know, I thought Thorzane and Mana were gonna lose. They were just getting sieged up at their natural. Things were looking very grim for them. Then they broke out, and then Koss and Aristio started doing some great backstabs, but at the end of the day, it just came down to the raw tank count and Colossus count of Thorzane and Mana, and that was able to seal the deal. So there it is, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this 2v2 battle as much as I did. I love casting 2v2s, and if you guys have any great 2v2s to send in to me, make sure to go ahead and send them into HDreplays@gmail.com. I'll try to get to them when I get a chance, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, I'll be bringing you guys more awesome 1v1 content. I also still want to do that Ghost video. If I haven't done it already, I'll go ahead and post it up. But I also lastly want to go ahead and bring you guys the Gamecom Plantronics European tournament that has been going on. If you guys haven't been keeping up to date with that, I'll be bringing you guys the epic replays that they sent to me. So that'll be it for me, guys, and this is HD signing up.